Dankeschön. So yes, indeed, my name is Ross King, and today I'll be presenting a research result called OpenSecurity. OpenSecurity is a piece of software that demonstrates a particular approach to security called security by isolation, and applies security by isolation principles to two specific scenarios. That's data loss prevention on one hand and protection from malware or viruses on the other. OpenSecurity was also a project, a 2-year project funded by the KIRAS Civil Security Program, supported by the Federal Ministry for Transportation, Innovation, and Technology. So typically in a security presentation, my first job is to scare you. And that's getting kind of hard to do because a lot of the security threats that we face today have become so normalized we don't think about them anymore. It's rather like people have a deep fear of terrorist attacks, but they don't think about getting in their car, which of course statistically is a much more dangerous thing. Well, in this case, there are a couple of very large security holes in your everyday existence. One of them is these little devices. I would guess that a number of people have used one of these today. They've used it unprotected. They put it into a machine to load their presentation or something like that. And USB is a fundamentally insecure standard. This is known. There are all kinds of attack vectors that can occur through USB. When you plug this into a Windows system, code can be automatically executed. This stick could pretend to be a keyboard instead of a USB stick and start typing in systems directly into your command line. Terrible, terrible devices, and yet we use them every day. Similarly, the web browser, I'm pretty sure everybody here has used a browser, if not today, within recent time, has a huge attack surface through browser bugs, through plugins, through social engineering where people are convinced to download or click on malicious links or material. Also an incredibly dangerous thing that we use every day. The problem is, in our research view, is that the present approach to solving these problems is hopeless. That approach is called security by correctness, and by that we mean we just have to apply one more patch to the system, and when we've done that, we'll be impenetrable from now on. And that is clearly not the case, and there's a number of reasons for this. One, as we see here, this documenting the shell shock bug. These bugs can hide inside the systems for a very long time, 22 years inside the Linux stack there. Another example that just came out recently, you'll remember Heartbleed, another one of these. And just to show that this is also very actual, just this week, the glibc DNS bug was reported, could have huge security implications for every device on the internet. Now, why doesn't security correctness work? The second reason is we're developing more and more code. More code means more new bugs being introduced. You can't keep up. But there's a third and even more pernicious reason, and that is that there's actually a market for so-called zero-day exploits. There's people out there willing to pay money for bugs that have been yet undiscovered. Those can either be criminals or they can be nation states. And with that kind of large incentive, it means that a lot of bugs will always go unreported and unpatched. Speaking of nation states, that leads us to another problem. How do we trust anybody today? Can we trust software manufacturers? Can we trust hardware manufacturers? Can we trust nations themselves? Here are just a couple of examples of how malware can be installed on hardware en route to a delivery, how some manufacturers have weakened their security by staging their own man-in-the-middle attacks so that they can monitor secure HTTPS connections for their advertising networks. As long as those kinds of incentives are out there, we're faced with some pretty tough opposition, so to say. Given all these problems, what is the solution? I'm saying security by correctness is not the solution. Why not try a new one? We call it security by isolation. The idea here is that all of the kind of processes that have a large attack surface, like input-output devices, like network interfaces, should be hidden away in a virtual machine that is separated and only connected with a very thin and well-understood interface to your core machine. That way, you can carry out operations like mounting a USB stick. It never touches my operating system. It's mounted in a virtual machine. It's mounted then through my normal system. I see it as a network share. I can do all the normal operations I have. And then when I pull that USB stick out again, that virtual machine is destroyed. There's no statefulness. Even if it was full of viruses, even if it was full of attack vectors, those have been erased and will never affect my core system. Same thing with browsing. And those are just two specific scenarios that we implemented in the course of the project. I think there are many more. In terms of what we've implemented in the course of OpenSecurity, OpenSecurity is open source software. It's downloadable from our website. It was developed specifically for Windows 7 clients, at requirement of our stakeholders there. It would require a little bit of additional effort and investment to upgrade that to Windows 8 or Windows 10. There's already another solution that we also have expertise in that runs on Linux. And we also have a nice installation packet that allows you to centrally administer and install this if you should want to deploy it in a large industrial setting. Thank you. Our stand is over there. I don't know the number, but it's right in the middle of that wall. Please visit us if you have interest.